Hello, welcome to this SwopBots Scratch tutorial. Today we're going to look at how we can make a platform game. Sooner or later most people want to make platform games. There's a lot of excellent examples on the Scratch website. Sometimes when you look into their code though, the code they've used for the jumping and the gravity can be a bit complicated. It's fine if you want to remix, but perhaps you can't always understand exactly what's going on. So I wanted to break it down. I'm just going to do a real basic implementation, a really simple way of getting gravity and jumping to work from platform to platform. So to begin with, we've got the project that you can download and use. We just have Loop and we have a platform. If you look at Loop's costumes, you'll see I've already put some running animation in there, and that includes running for right and to the left. And the left pictures are obviously just the same as the right pictures, but flipped around like that. So first thing we're going to do before we even move is we're going to try and get the running animation working. So we'll start off with when right arrow key pressed, and the simplest way, first thing you can do is just to do next costume, and when I do that, so it starts running, but he's running from right to left. Why is that happening? Well, if we look here, you see just goes through each costume, including the ones that are moving to the left. So we don't really want that effect. We want to know when has he got to this one, and instead of moving on to this one, we need to go back to the beginning. So it go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back to 1 again. So we need to do some checking in here. So to do that, I want to know if. So first thing, if the costume, where is it? Here. So if we have reached number 6, then I want to go back to number 1. So to check that, we'll use this built-in variable, the costume number. So if the costume number is number 6, then I want to switch to number 1. But I also, somewhere in there, I need to go to the next costume, because if I just do this, nothing's going to happen. So instead of just using if, I'm actually going to use an if else. So if we're on number 6, then we're going to go back to number 1, else, otherwise, we're going to move to the next costume. So let's have a look at that. And you can see here, we've kind of got this running animation, and if we go to costumes, you can see what's happening. It's going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and because it's equal to number 6 now, it's going to go back to number 1, and we see it jump back to number 1, and it's going to loop through. Great, so now we want the same kind of idea for moving to the left. So I'm going to have this left arrow there. Let's delete that. I want something with if else, but now I need to think exactly what do I want. Well, when we're going to the left, we're going from 7 to 8 to 9, 10, 11 and 12. If it's got to number 12, it needs to go back to number 7 again. So if it's equal to 12, it's going to go back to 7. So to do that, we'll copy the same idea. Where's equals? There it is. So if the costume number is equal to 12, then we're going to switch, not back to number 1, only back to number 7. Otherwise, we're going to go to the next costume. So let's have a look at that. So that seems to be working to the left. Now we're going to hit a problem when I switch from left to right. So I'm moving left now. When I start moving to the right, you'll see there's sometimes a couple of frames when he doesn't change. So if I tell you what I'm doing, I'm pressing right, 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 left, left, only now did he move. And if I go left, left, now I'm going to press right, 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 right. So he's not immediately moving back. And if we look on here, we can see what's happening. So if I press right, right, now I'm going to press left, left, it's still moving to the next costume. So until it actually reaches number 7, it doesn't look like he's moving the right way. So we need to put something in so that if I'm in the middle of the sequence, and if I press the right key now, it needs to jump back to the right animation. So how can we do that? Well, let's try with another check. So let's think about the right arrow first. So say I'm over here and I press the right arrow. Because I'm greater than 6, so if I'm greater than 6, that means I'm in the left section. So if I'm greater than 6, instead of moving on to the next one, I want to jump all the way back to number 1. So let's try and put something like that in at the beginning. So just move that out there. So first thing I want to check is, am I in the left section? So if the costume number, so if it's more than 6, then I want to switch back to costume 1, and then I'll keep this section as before. So let's have I'll move to the left first of all. So now we've got him in the left side. I'm going to press the right key and he immediately moves to the right animation. So we can see that. So I'm on 7, I'm pressing left, I'm still moving left. Now I'm going to press the right key and it jumps all the way back. Well, it's jumped to number 2. So that's also because it's carried out this next part as well. So perhaps want to do something about that. Let me see if I swap the order around. Let's get him into the left section, press right. Okay, that's better. And he's jumped to number 1. Just moving to the left section. So I'm going to press the right arrow key, right, and it's jumped straight to number 1. So the first check, if it's equal to 6, then it will go back to number 1 and do the next costume. But if it's greater than 6, then we'll jump straight back to number 1. And greater than 6 because greater than 6 means it's in this left section of animation. So now I need to do something similar for the left arrow. Okay, let's start off with a new if. So this one was if it was greater than 6. This time we want to check if I'm in the animation which is less than 7. So if it's less than 7, then it's in the right section. So if I'm less than 7, say I'm here and I press the left key, then I want to jump straight away to number 7. So if that costume, if it's less than 7, then I'm going to switch that costume immediately to number 7. So let's have a go. So I'm going to press left, left, and I'm going to press the right key, and he turns around immediately. Press right, right, press the left key, press the right key. If I switch between left and right, you can see he jumps immediately. And we can look here on the costumes. So I'm pressing left, left, I'm going to press right now, and he jumps to the right, 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 and I'm going to press the left key, jumps straight to number 7. So to recap, first thing we need to know is if we've reached the end of our sequence. So that means if I've reached this one here when I'm moving right, so if it's equal to 6, I jump straight back to number 1. So if the costume is 6, go back to number 1. If it's not 6, then we'll go to the next costume. We also need to check, am I in the other section? So if I was moving left before. So if it's greater than 6, so if it's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 or 12, so if it's greater than 6, then I need to go straight back to number 1. And same thing with the left arrow. So if it's equal to number 12, so if I've reached the end of the sequence, I want to go back to number 7, which is what we have here. So if it's equal to 12, go back to number 7. Otherwise, just go to the next costume. But if it's less than 7 means in this section here, so if I was moving right before, I want to go straight to number 7. So if I was here and I press the left key, I don't want to move to next costume, I need to jump straight here. So I'm going to press the left key now, and you'll see that's what happens, he jumps straight there. So with this code, we've got the animation. He's obviously not moving, but to get him moving, then we'll simply change x by 10 if we're going right, or change x by minus 10 if we're moving left, and you'll see he's running left and right. But what he's not doing, he's not falling. He's not actually running on that platform. So there's no gravity, there's nothing to check whether we're on a platform or not. And that's what we'll do in the next video.